everyone!
Hello!
Well, I'm not going to be in the video that much today because I'm demented and the whole time I'm going to be laughing. So if you hear a hyena or something dying in the background, it's just me laughing a lot. Okay, bye!
So the story goes, I was basically in like 1st or 2nd grade, I think, and I went to this daycare and when my mom worked, and over the summer we would go on all these field trips. One time we went to this water park, and there's this one guy, I didn't really know him until this day, and I really wanted to go on this big water slide, and there was this huge line, and everybody wouldn't go on it, so me, being adventurous and unafraid Brittany, went up there, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And they told me that everybody was scared to go on there, and I thought it was just because it was kind of high, so I was like, well, scoot over, I'll go on there. So, me, little Brittany, went up there, and, well, I went down the slide, and there's this big guy in the middle of the slide, just sitting there. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe he just, like, didn't want to go down. So I just sat there for a minute, and then that's when the craziness started to happen. And he looked at me, and then he just kind of tackled me. And being a water slide, there's water underneath, so, or on the bottom of the slide. And he pushed me under the water, I guess in an attempt to drown me. I really don't know what was going through his mind. And then he started eating, biting my face. And Paige just thinks this is the funniest story ever. So there's me, little 1st, 2nd grade Brittany, being attacked by this 5th grader. 5th grader was like the top of the daycare, so he was like one of the oldest kids there. He was huge, like really huge. And here's little Brittany cowering in fear while this guy's on top of me biting my face. Biting it. Eating my face. Okay, so it's safe to say I was terrified out of my mind, and people heard me screaming. And somebody was supposed to be with this guy because he was, you know, slow. You know what I mean? He had Down syndrome, I believe it was. So somebody was supposed to be with him all day, but I guess they just figured, oh, let's just let him sit in the slide and eat people's faces all day. So I started crying. I ran up the slide, and there's all these little girls up there, and they're like, oh my gosh, and a teacher, or whatever they call him, daycare person, came, and they saw me, and they ran me in to get some ice. So then I sat there for the rest of the day. I couldn't enjoy it, and it was the only time we went to that water park with ice on my face, crying. And then this was just a horrible daycare, because after all that happened, this horrible daycare, they were just like, yeah, we're not going to watch him, you know? Let's just let him do whatever. So we're sitting there waiting for the buses to come, and he's sitting over by this girl, and she has a towel, and obviously he wants it. So he goes up to her, and the brightest thing that came to his mind was to eat her face after eating mine and blowing up chunks. When I saw him, he was just sitting there, like, throwing up my skin and flesh. And so he decides that it's a good idea to eat this other girl's face. So then she starts screaming, and the teachers finally come and like have to sit next to him, when they really could have done that the whole time and prevented a lot of cannibalism and throwing up and scared 1st graders. And their brilliant idea of why he did this was because he said that, or they said that when he was biting someone, that was his way of showing love. Yeah, 'cause that makes sense. So when he was biting me, he was really trying to kiss me. So then when we got back, I had to take a bunch of pictures of my face, and so that if my mom wanted to sue or something like that, that she could. She didn't. And we went to Taco Bell afterwards, and I had to hide my face so that it didn't look like my mom abused me. Yeah, that was like the highlight of my life.
Eat face!